Well, Christian, what did you think of Crazy Taxi?
Crazy Taxi is surprisingly great, even today, Tucker. How'd they do it? How did those folks at Sega do it?
Well, let's go back in time, Christian. Where were you when Crazy Taxi came out, and had the ska infested you yet?
It had not. I think I was a 4-year-old going to kindergarten, trying to figure out how many books I could fit in my Jar Jar Binks backpack.
Aww. That's kind of the vibe of this game, I would say.
Sure.
I was just a little bit older and had no idea what ska was, except maybe that song in the Digimon movie soundtrack.
On October 6th,
Ty, what's happening?
a digivirus will infect the internet.
Diaboromon.
Question.
Yeah.
What was the first time you played Crazy Taxi? Paint me a picture.
Gosh. Probably at one of those demo kiosks at like Walmart or Target or something. Or
Yes.
there might have been a cabinet at the local pizza place.
Ooh.
But whether I played it or not, I don't know, because it was very intimidating.
Right. Do you think that would have been a console version? Like we talking GameCube, Dreamcast? It couldn't have been Dreamcast.
It's really interesting because when you fire up the game on the Dreamcast, you get this like fat basic text field that just says like loading Crazy Taxi 15K. And I'm like, what? It's crazy. That might be just what they run on the arcade. I don't know. It can't be because it's got like a menu, I guess. But
Yeah.
it feels like, there's just like some Neo Geo business going on here.
Totally.
But I stayed away from Crazy Taxi, and that's why I wanted to play it, I think, is just to try to claim it in some way, because I've owned it for a while, and I always played for like 5 minutes, and then I'm like, boy, I'm bad at this. And then that's what I thought the game was.
Yeah.
But I realized there's more to it, Christian.
Yeah. My first time with Crazy Taxi was on a computer in the year 2000.
Okay,
something.
wait. I was going to ask you this. Is this a game tab?
It is.
Yes! That's beautiful.
It 100% is. Sega invested into the game tab bubble, and Crazy Taxi is one of the suds.
Christian, I could listen to you talk about game tab for the rest of my life, I think. It's such a beautiful moment in time.
It's great. It's great. And I owe my first experience with Crazy Taxi to Game Tap.
Thank you, Game Tab. It gave us American McGee's Grimm, and it gave us Crazy Taxi ports.
And it gave us Mist Uru Live Game Tap exclusive.
Well, we'll get there in another episode, but
we will.
Was your experience better now?
It kind of was in an interesting way where, like, they don't make games like Crazy Taxi anymore, Tucker.
No.
They don't make them like this anymore.
For better and worse.
Right, yeah. Where you can just like fiddle around with it, and a 5-year-old could have a ton of fun with Crazy Taxi. Or my mom could have a ton of fun with Crazy Taxi.
Okay.
And not even know what she's doing other than picking people up and dropping them off.
Listening to The Offspring over
Yes, exactly. But once you unlock the secret that is the crazy boost, then you're into a different plane of existence.
Like in a good way or a bad way? Like you're done then? Like it plateaus?
Sure. It probably does plateau. We're talking about an arcade video game, so it's meant to be like milled through for high scores and whatnot, playing with your buds, putting 4 quarters in, and then calling it a day, and then thinking about it at elementary school for the entirety of the next week until you can get back to the arcade again.
Sure.
Which is an illusion that may or may not be affected by the fact that you have unlimited access at your fingertips.
Right, for this home version.
Yeah, but still, I am very impressed at how well that Crazy Taxi loop holds up when I can play it as much as I want. What do you think, Tucker?
Well, I had a question, I guess, regarding that.
Sure.
This was kind of at the tail end, I feel like, of arcades being viable, right? Like,
oh, totally.
Not the last hurrah, maybe, but like on the way down sort of thing. Do you think, 2 questions for you. Do you think Crazy Taxi is trying to, do you think the art style is trying to be realistic and it was just limited by the time? Or do you think it was like going for like a stylized cartoony thing?
Oh, no. That's a very good question. And I don't know the answer. Okay. And I feel like they were probably going for realism, and this was the best they could do.
Okay, that's fine by me. I like that. Do you think we could have kept going with this version of video gaming where it's an arcade style game where you reset a lot, like constantly, and have the graphics approach like the graphics we have nowadays.
Right. Man.
Because it feels really weird to me. It feels it's got that Tony Hawk thing.
Yeah.
Whenever I would like restart and the music would kick in while the little intro was playing, I was like, oh, I'm playing Tony Hawk. I was playing Crazy Taxi, but it feels the same to me. But I think it would be really weird if like Alloy or something would just like reset every 5 minutes and then like go kill dinosaurs. I don't think that would feel good, you know? I feel like Crazy Taxi is kind of the inflection point where they had to stop.
Yeah.
Which is not a knock against it.
That's a very good point, Tucker. But at the same time, I don't know. My brain is cursed with the image of like Taxi Mania or something, where someone this development studio tried to rip off Crazy Taxi in the modern world, and it's just like a smoothed over 30 frames per second, gnarly looking, basic mobile game. And I think this game looks infinitely more appealing than that.
It do look real janky though, this game.
Sure.
Even when you're not like crashing sideways through a wall and like vibrating into space, and then. But I feel like that's the point. I've never played a game that feels so broken on purpose, where it's like, you're not doing it right unless you're like vibrating through the ground.
Totally.
Halfway across the level, because it's like that's like the strat at some point.
Yeah,
it's craziness.
Very good point. Where it's maybe not designed to be as borked as it is, but
yeah, sure, okay,
both, because of how bite-sized like the play experiences are supposed to be, and how just like manically fast-paced it's supposed to be, helps make it so that those problems don't weigh it down as much unless you're trying to complete this level in 30 minutes. 30 seconds.
And it gets really frustrating when I never blamed the game, I guess, but it was really frustrating when I was like driving and then I would just like start hitting cars and I'm like, I just gotta get because the timer's always ticking down, and it's really, that's when the jank doesn't feel so good.
Yeah. I like Sega's character models. It seems like Virtua Fighter might be kind of where this originated, maybe, where they've got like splines in there, and like the character limbs are just pivoting along those splines.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
I just freaking love just looking at the character models as you're jostling about in this taxi.
Yeah. They're yelling at you.
Take me to the cable car.
Oh, they're yelling at me, dude.
Or for
and
you.
I don't know if
They're
it's
like,
going to make me get there any faster, but I sure am going to do that boost and watch their necks whip back really fast as a visual validation that I performed that boost correctly.
Okay, so the boost, right? Pivotal to the game.
Absolutely. How did I not know this existed?
Yeah, right.
Does anyone know this exists?
Is this a
does
failure?
The greater YouTube populace know? Because I was watching YouTube videos, and every time someone didn't use the boost, I was like, oh, what are you doing? Do you not know how to play the game?
I can't believe it. Was that your best? I don't think so.
You got to go in and change the speed to 2 times on the YouTube video just to not jump out of your skin.
Exactly. But I mean, my parents never knew what the boost was, and they played Crazy Taxi. I never knew what it was when I was playing Crazy Taxi. I just thought that you were stuck getting a C rank forever unless you got super lucky.
Right. And you are. Unless you do the boost. Which is that a failure of the game to not even like begin to explain the concepts of the game? It would be like if like, I don't know. It's odd because there's so few other things to do in the game.
Right.
But they're never like, hey, you're not doing so hot. Maybe try doing this weird button combination that makes you do a turbo boost.
Exactly.
It's odd.
And especially weird dissonance I had is this game, I assume, first existed as an arcade cabinet. And I have no idea how the heck you would pull off that move in an arcade cabinet, because you'd have to like
with pedals and stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to like grab the shifter and like shift down while making sure you don't press the pedal while shifting back up and then slamming the pedal immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem ideal.
No.
It seems like you're begging for a broken arcade cabinet.
It sounds really satisfying though when you say it.
Does.
Just like
it does. And the button presses. Oh man. Just like successfully executing one of those. I could do that all day. And I feel like I've played one other video game that had something like this, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But it's like that crazy time in video game history where they didn't bother explaining it to you and they didn't bother making it accessible for absolutely anyone, but they put it in there. And if you can pull it off, it feels real good.
Do you think the game is enjoyable if you don't know about the boost?
It gets more boring a lot quickly.
Yeah. It gets by on style at that point. I think it's just like, this is
right.
Like, I like driving around the world. I think it's like, I didn't even know before I got the boost and started getting into that rhythm, which is really awesome, where you're just like, the fares keep rolling in a really nice way. And that just feels great. But before that point, I didn't even know there was like the downtown area or like, because that would make it 3 fares in and lose over and over and over. And I would get to the KFC and I would get to Tower Records, but I didn't know there was
and then it would be over.
The baseball stadium or any of that. I like going in with the 10-minute round and just driving around and exploring also.
Ooh.
Which is not something you could probably do in the arcade version, but the home console experience lets you explore this very Katamari-esque crazy Japanese version of what was going on with Sega in San Francisco at this time, Christian? Why is it what's with all the San Francisco?
They like trolleys.
I do too. It works out. Okay.
Good on them.
Question answered. Who was your driver of choice?
I picked the guy with the parted shirt and the
Gus.
Classic looking taxi. Yeah.
Gus
a little bit of Vice City vibes. Maybe that's me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like
who's yours?
I like BD Joe.
Ooh.
They're all good.
They're all good.
The first one looks like Sugar Ray. Dude, frosted tips. It's so cool. Oh, man.
Heck yeah.
Did you derive any value from the Crazy Box mode, Christian?
I did.
Did you? I didn't, but that's fine. I could see you getting into that totally. That's like challenge section. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like an alternate universe where Crazy Taxi turned into Trackmania for some reason.
Cross with like Monkey Ball or something. It's so weird.
Yeah. And those stages like haunted me when I was playing this game on GameTap back in the day, where I was like, how the heck is this possible? What do you do? And this game probably doesn't play well at all on a keyboard and mouse or on a keyboard. I don't know how I did anything. But finally figuring out how the boost works, that was kind of like the first gate towards my progress, where I did the Crazy Box first before I let myself play the arcade mode.
Oh, craziness.
And that meant that when I did get to the arcade mode, I was like, wow, an A rank. Okay, I'll do better next time.
A's pretty good, dude.
It's pretty good. And the Crazy Box stages, they're still borked. I mean, you have to like drift very precisely, and the drifting doesn't always work right because this game was largely built to just like careen around corners and smash into 50 things while you're dropping someone off.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey.
Right. And if it makes you lose 2 seconds, it's not a big deal. But in some of the Crazy Box courses, you'll go careening off a ledge and then have to restart the whole stage over. And then it's less great.
Yeah.
But it's still like this glimpse into this bizarro universe where Crazy Taxi took a different path.
Totally.
They didn't take that path, but I like this little branch, this olive branch that they extended to me to get some frustration, but also enjoyment out of Crazy Taxi on a home video game console.
Well, yeah, I guess to me, it just kind of showed that this car is a lot of fun to drive, even if you're not in like the gameplay loop of Crazy Taxi. Like if you're just trying to do something precise, it's still fun to do that process or try to. I don't think the challenges in the box are that interesting, I guess.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. No, not at all. Yeah. And then like, once again, I'd watch YouTube videos of like that first stage where you try and jump as far as possible.
Yeah. Just failing over and over.
Yeah, right. Or like they'll succeed and barely make it. Because I think if you just drive straight, you can barely make it.
Oh.
Could be wrong. But yeah, I was just watching videos of that over and over. And I'm like, you can get double that if you just do the boost. Just do the boost. But the game doesn't explain how to do the boost. So
Man, I love this game, though, I gotta say.
Yeah? What is it? Is it the guys in mohawks wanting to go to the record store, or is it the old ladies wanting to go to the helipad?
I like the old lady a lot. She's very into the driving. She's like, yeah, great job, yeah. It's so satisfying just to like weave in out of traffic and see the little coins pop out of you.
There's so much traffic, too.
It's crazy, yeah.
Like, there's games these days that don't have half the traffic that this game does, and it runs so smooth. It feels so good.
Well, I don't know.
How'd they do it?
I ran into some issues, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, it runs very smoothly.
The draw distance is garbage. Maybe that's how they did it.
Yeah, and everything looks terrible if you look at it, but
sure.
When you're playing the game, it just feels right.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, like, the fares are the same each time. I don't know. It just gives it this weird personality where it's like, oh, this guy's got to get here. And it's like he always does. And then you can, like, kind of like, I feel like I haven't gone your route of watching other people play this game, but
sure.
I feel like when people play this game, they probably get into like a main route, and then maybe there's like alternations where they like pick up this guy instead of this guy, maybe. This run.
Yep.
And that's really interesting to me. That's cool.
Totally. Yeah. And the game seems to kind of start in the same place every time.
Yeah.
Where you can just pull up to your person. And then it seems like they very strategically pick that starting point where almost every fare you pick up will send you careening down a couple of downhill slopes. That feels so good. That's a nice, fast-paced way to open your Crazy Taxi run. Very good.
There's not really anything to compare with that as far as that goes. Like the original map has like the water areas, and you like jump over a bridge if you want. But yeah, that's kind of the money shot, is just like doing the San Francisco thing. Yeah. And they haven't got
without Sonic.
Without Sonic or the truck?
They did it?
I don't know. Kristen, did you find that the addition of the second map added a lot to your experience with Crazy Taxi?
If anything, it might have detracted a little bit because I felt the need to play it again. Like it's so open, and then they widen everything out, and then there's water now and bridges you have to cross, and it just didn't feel as tightly focused as that original arcade mode where I could just jump into that arcade mode and play it again any day, where some of that added stress of the classic mode where that arrow pointing to the destination will like whip around a couple times as you cross intersections. Right. Doesn't feel quite as good to me.
I like it because it has this vibe of like a Katamari game where there's just like I feel like they had more fun with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good of a map, but there's like the car lot where there's like 12 people standing there for fares.
Yes.
And it's like really hard to drive through. And it just reminds me of like weird, like kind of like Japanese game design of this era. Just kind of fun zaniness. But no, I mean, up until the process of playing this game was 5 minutes long to me. So like any added value, I guess, is better. But it was it's like a different 5 minutes I can play this game.
Yeah.
Now I just see it as just kind of this like bonus on top of what I consider the main game, which you can play for a lot longer than 5 minutes, I think.
Totally. Question. How much of Crazy Taxi is the soundtrack?
All.
Yeah?
It's crazy that it's only like 2 songs. It's like 3 songs, I think.
It is. It blew my mind. It's the Yeah song, and then the guy beating his kid song, and then that's about it.
The circle,
yes.
It's unlike any other game I've played, I think, in that respect, where it's just like, it's not like Tony Hawk.
No.
And it's not like Tony Hawk where the round is a certain amount of time so they know when to cut the song.
Right. They just kind of got into the next one in the middle for no reason.
Yeah. It's like, okay. But I could listen to that song forever, so.
Yeah, they've created like this strange zeitgeist where like if you look at any like Crazy Taxi YouTube video, it's just like 80 comments of like, OMG, the memories, or wow, my childhood. Or every time I hear that song, wow. It's just, they created this like headspace. With this combination of the game, the gameplay, and the music just meshes into this amorphous blob that persists in the memory of millions.
I love that. It's got to be one of the most annoying games to have someone else play.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
And that's why
aren't you doing the crazy boost? Come on, do the crazy boost. Let me show you.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
No, you can do it when they're getting into the cat. No, don't take the red fares.
Right. You got to go in reverse when you're picking the person up. Come on.
Wait, why are we playing with the arrow on? This is stupid. You don't know where everything is?
Amateur.
I have yet to go look at a map, but I really want to because I know people memorize this crap and it freaks me out and it's awesome.
100%. Yeah. There's no mini map.
No. Yes, navigation is hard for me. I played this game a lot, I feel like, and I still have no idea where anything is. And,
there's like a couple 180-degree turns in there too.
Mm-hmm.
They have fun with you.
Mm-hmm. I have one final question, and that is why the distance marker disappears, but you can bring it back. It doesn't make any sense to me.
What? You're blowing my mind. You can bring it back?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, I guess. But why?
Oh.
Why? Why is KFC in this game?
Because Levi's Original is in this game.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's cool.
That's all good. It was a good time in video games. That's all I'll say.
Great time.
Christian, where would you like to put this game?
Oh, no. I don't know. I could sit there and do the crazy boost button combination all day, all day, every day. It feels good. Right. Like it is maybe the closest I've gotten in hand feel to actually like clutching and shifting a vehicle.
Hand feel. I really can't have you saying hand feel. I'm sorry.
It's got a good game feel.
Okay, that's better. Thank you.
The gameplay factor is off the charts.
Ooh.
The replayability is pretty high.
What's the fun factor at?
The fun factor.
Is that at a 5?
We're charting pretty high on the fun factor here.
Okay. What about tilt? What about reviewers tilt?
Ooh, reviewers tilt. The game tap factor definitely factors into that.
I would be curious what the distribution of game tap games on this list is, and if they're all at the top.
Right.
I don't think they are, though.
I think Fable 1 was on Game Tap, but never Fable 2, because that never released on PC.
Crazy.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles absolutely was on Game Tap.
That's also crazy.
Yeah, that was that Sega buy-in.
Sure. Hey, if you're going to, at that era, if you're going to buy in on a company, that seems like a good company.
Mm-hmm. Splinter Cell, definitely on Game Tap.
It sucks.
Crazy Taxi?
Crazy Taxi. I really like Crazy Taxi.
I like it a lot too.
I'm trying to be more sensible. Despite itself, right. Because of what it is and isn't. In spite of what it isn't. They wouldn't make a game like this, I guess, anymore.
No, not at all.
That's fine.
Totally.
Going to a store when the Dreamcast came out and paying, $60 for it or whatever, I don't know.
That's
Yikes. Beyond me, but
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah, maybe renting it. That's the best kind of headspace to be in.
Every weekend for the rest of your life. Oh, I was really hardened to go on Backlogged and see people really liked Crazy Taxi. I was like, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. I'll have to
this doesn't hold up.
Right. So Backlogged isn't quite like Letterboxd, is what you're saying.
Right.
Good.
This was A24's Crazy Taxi.
Okay.
Taxi driver.
Okay. Nudity.
If only. Gus.
True.
Man, I don't know. I'd put it below Kingdom Hearts 2, I guess. I don't know.
Kingdom Hearts 2. That's pretty high up.
It is pretty high up. I'm trying to look at this list, not objectively, but from like a more sane point of view, and I just like Crazy Taxi a lot more than a lot of these games.
Yeah. After Max Payne, you don't want to have to reevaluate again.
Right. Yeah, if I can rest easy at night with this list, that would be good. But I could also see this feels of a type with like Star Fox 64, where it's like, this is fun.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could rest easy at Nights into Dreams.
Sure. Kill Nights into Dreams. I don't know. Throw it off of this list. Kill it.
I'm okay above Kingdom Hearts 1.
Okay. Above Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, how you feel about Galaxy?
I like this way more than Galaxy,
There's
but
no motion controls in Crazy Taxi.
it should have been a button.
Why?
I understand that I have a non-standard opinion of Super Mario Galaxy, so it doesn't. It would not affect me either way.
Triggered.
It's okay. We'll talk it out. Anywhere, like, we're mostly just talking top 10, it feels like. Anywhere in the top 10 would be fine with me.
Oh, absolutely.
I think in my heart, between Kingdom Hearts and Nights, feels good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, yeah. Right next to its Sega cousin.
Yeah, seriously. I feel bad that all we do is Sega games. But what can you do? What can you do?